Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kristen. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to stop by my channel to see me and my cat Chunk down here and to see the book tag Three Musketeers. It has been around a bit, but I have been slack. I will link the original as well as Simon Fraser Springboard for Thought channel, who tagged me, and I really appreciate him and his channel and being tagged. He is an awesome reviewer, just a prolific reader, just comes up with so many books that I have not heard of, or at least heard someone review them, and just does so in a very educated, thoughtful, soothing almost manner of just laying out facts and opinions, and often with a little twist of humor that is awesome. So check out that channel or those tags if you like. And here are the questions on Three Musketeer tag. Alexandre Dumas was born in the 19th century. Do you have a favorite time period to read about? And if yes, what do you like about it? So I do not have a favorite time period that I always like to read. Like if I hear it's a particular time, that doesn't necessarily excite me. But if I hear it's over 2 or more time periods, like it's time travel, I'm excited. I like that concept of this was an ancestor and this is 100 years later, or it's the same building 200 years later, or those kind of things. Yeah, that excites me. Number 2, Alexandre Dumas was born in France. Is there a French author whose books you'd recommend? So the books that I have most loved are classics, but I have to say I have not read a single French modern author. So if you have a favorite French modern author, leave it below for me and I will look them up. I do love Jules Verne and Victor Hugo. So I have read Les Miserables as well as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and some of their other writings as well. But I love these. I'm just really, really appreciative of them and what they have taught me and gotten out of that. So, whoops, let me set this one in a different stack. Number 3, Alexandre Dumas often based his novels on real events and historical figures. Is there a person from the past that you would like to meet? So this changes all the time. I love this question because I always change, but the one who popped into my head first, if I had an opportunity, is Fred Rogers. I am obsessed might be a little strong, but I am just very passionately a fan of Fred Rogers and just would love the opportunity to meet him and to ask him some further questions or thoughts about some of his creations and just love of children and experiences in TV and being such a pioneer. So that's my answer, at least this time around. Number 4, Alexandre Dumas wrote some pretty chunky books. For example, The Count is over 5 or almost over 1,000 pages, as opposed to his son, Alexandre Dumas Jr., whose only book, The Lady of the Cassasiello, is less than 180 pages. What's the longest and the shortest books you've read? So I really don't know. I don't keep track exactly like that. I just glancing over have read multiple books that are over 800, multiple that are over 1,000. I will say, I'll go ahead and put in my shameless plug because I'm always holding up a Brandon Sanderson book. His books are chunky. This one is 1,303 pages, Oathbringer, so it may be likely the longest book I have actually read. So I'm going to go with this one for that question of longest. For shortest, I'm also not sure, but I'll take this opportunity to share one of my very favorite shortest books that I don't know that I've talked about since I made this new booktube channel, and that is Wilkie Collins, who's another one of my all-time favorite authors. And he wrote this short little book. It is literally 101 pages, called The Frozen Deep, and it's a story about a couple gentlemen who are in this like battle kind of love triangle over a woman, and they end up on an Antarctic voyage adventure together, not really knowing that they would end up together. And it's their kind of struggles through both the landscape and the struggles of being in that kind of rugged environment, and then their kind of back and forth struggle over this woman back home. So the fun thing about it that I want to share before I go on is that Wilkie Collins was really, in real life, really good friends with Charles Dickens. And they turned this into a play that they were in. Okay, maybe if I could go back and not meet a person but time travel, I would like to go see this play. And Charles Dickens was so enraptured with the character that he played. That's the character from The Frozen Deep. That is his basis for the exact same character, different name and circumstances, but the same personality was taken out and was put into A Tale of Two Cities. Just saying, that is one of the coolest things I've ever heard in literary trivia fiction. So this was a really fun read. I loved it. I particularly loved that backstory. So there's that. Moving on to the next question. I don't think there is a video in which I wouldn't mention my favorite book, The Three Musketeers. Is there a book that you want everyone to know about? I'm always mentioning Brandon Sanderson's books now, and I'm almost always mentioning Lord of the Rings as just like a foundation, I realize, to a lot of other things that I love, and so that's going to be my answer for that, although I don't know that I mention them every video, but a lot. One of the most famous quotes in literature is "all for one and one for all." It came from the pen of Alexandre Dumas. Do you keep track of your favorite quotes? No, but I wish I did. I really need to start to do that. I think to myself all the time, oh, that's such a moving quote. And I do actually dog ear my pages. I know don't come for me. The only time I love bookmarks. I have a little passion for bookmarks, and but I don't mind taking a pencil or even a pen and marking something or dog earing that page just to find it again. Anyway, but I don't keep track of them. However, if I am going to talk about favorite quotes, I of course adore the quote about "not all who wander are lost." That comes from Lord of the Rings series, J.R.R. Tolkien. And then my all-time favorite quote is actually from C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that's the story where the children go through the wardrobe into a mystical land where it is always winter but never Christmas, and they're trying to, basically get back home and be safe, but they're also get caught up in the world of where they are and what's going down, and making friends and trying to bring some justice to the wrongs that are going on there. And so Lucy, who's the young girl, has been taken in by badgers because here animals and mystical beings talk and they understand one another. So she's lodging at the beavers, and they're explaining to her that the person who can help them on all of their quests is Aslan the lion. And so Lucy says, "A lion? Well, is he safe?" And Mr. Beaver says, "Oh, he's a lion. Of course he's not safe, but he's very, very good." Oh, I love that. I love that quote. Just that. Aslan the lion, is he safe? No, but he's very good. So, there you go. That's my favorite quote. The Three Musketeers is a book of strong friendships and allegiances. Do you have a favorite fictional friendship? Yes, of course. Frodo and Sam. Yes, it has to be. Frodo and Sam is the most pure, most beautiful friendship in all of literature that I have ever read. There's been some really good ones. I also really love Firefly Lane, Kristen Hanna's. I think that's one of her most powerful relationships and one girl growing up relationships I've ever read. But I have to give it to Frodo and Sam. I mean, I know, a lot of people would pick that because it's true. It's just a beautiful, self-loving, self-sacrificing, beautiful friendship. And again, it's a book that I'm always referencing because I think there's another question that's going to have that. It says The Three Musketeers is strong with strong female characters who are brave, yet gentle and loving. However, some of them prove to be true evil. I guess that's true. Do you have a favorite female fictional character, and who is it and why? So my favorite female, I love several of them, and I was going to bring them up, but if I'm really honest, my very favorite all-time female character is Arwen, the elvish princess who is self-sacrificing both for her love of Aragorn and her country and Middle Earth, and willing to sacrifice and die, goes against the rest to save Frodo. I have an official replica of her sword. I'm just very, very much. Liv Tyler did an excellent job playing her. I think there's a question on a tag that says basically if an actress or actor could play you, who would you pick? Liv Tyler can play me. That would be awesome. So, number 9. There are more than 50 film adaptations of The Three Musketeers, which is really amazing if you think about that. Is there a film adaptation that you enjoyed more than the book? So, I kind of hate to confess this, but almost all of the romantic Victorian novels, like Emma, even probably Pride and Prejudice, although I really loved reading that book. That one might be borderline equal, but the point is, Sense and Sensibility, all those kind of period, Victorian period, where it's focused on the romances and the dramas of marrying to keep your wealth and all that stuff. I end up enjoying the movies more than I enjoy the books. I just, 9 times out of 10, that's just the way it is. Number 10, I own 3 different editions of The Three Musketeers. Is there a book that you have more than one edition? And the deal is I specifically give away whichever version, like sometimes I've gotten 2, but then I will give the one that I like less away. But there is one book that I have 3 different versions of, and that's why I wanted to keep this book kind of out, because it's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is in my top 10 books of probably all time. So I don't mind having 3 versions, and they're all beautiful. So I have this one, which is my penguin cloth bound that I collect. I have this version, the leather bound book, which I actually bought this for my husband when we were first dating because he wanted to read a book. So I bought him this one, and then he decided he wasn't ever going to read it, and he gave it back to me when we got married because, you know, that's how marriage works. And then this one I got in a Coffee and a Classic subscription. I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off of it because I'm just keeping it pristine because I think it is beautiful and I love it and I love this story, and I have no problem having 3 versions of this book. I love this. These make me happy. I'm going to keep my 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and enjoy them. Have you read Three Musketeers or any other book by Alexandre Dumas? And if yes, which? So the only one that I have not read Three Musketeers, but I want to. I definitely do. I just don't even have a copy of it yet. But I have read the Count of Monte Cristo, this particular copy, this exact copy. So loved it. This is a 5-star read for me. I appreciate it. Again, look forward to someday reading the Three Musketeers. Tag people. So I want to tag a couple people that I'm pretty sure have not done this. I tried to scroll through and make sure they hadn't done it yet, but I want to tag Aaron Facer. He is an awesome booktuber who has a beautiful reading voice and a beautiful heart for really exploring and digging into the author's intent, particularly poetry. He has just really inspired me, and a lot of times I have put on his videos, and when I've had to like be doing chores or cleaning or whatnot, and just listen to his reading of poetry while I did that. And I just highly recommend you checking out his channel. Also, I want to tag Ariane and Prometheus at the Book Zealots. They are a fun mother-son duo that also reads a lot of classics, and feel like they probably have read the Three Musketeers. I feel pretty confident at least one of them. So I don't think you've done this particular tag though, so go ahead and do that. I will be doing more tag videos, and if I haven't tagged you yet, stay tuned. Your turn is coming. Take care. If you just want to do this tag, feel free. Take care, y'all. Happy reading. I'll talk to you later.